Have you heard about the Killing Antidote? Now, this is a game that caught my attention. It's a mashup of Resident Evil and Hot Girl Dress-Up Simulator. It's only for PC, and it's being published and developed by a Chinese studio, MetalStar Studio. It's currently only available for playtesting on Steam, with no current release date, but I thought it was worth checking out. This is a third-person shooter. You've got shooting, fighting, dress-up, puzzle solving, and more. So here's the description from the developers. In a future, a special germ will cause human beings to continue to be infected and mutated, and the human world is about to come to an end. The protagonist, Jody, is a brave freelance journalist who investigates the inside story of the incident and searches for the legendary antidote, and unknowingly is in danger. There's an awful lot of ands there. Okay, so maybe not the most interesting or well-written description, but for me it's all about the gameplay. And that's what gets me so excited about the Killing Antidote. So I played for about 3 hours in the single stage that's available, as well as through a couple of challenge modes. First off, there's a million cheap hot girl games where it's clear the devs are looking for a quick buck on sex appeal alone, with the least amount of effort. But that is clearly not what's happening here. In the brief time with the game, you navigate the decrepit, winding halls of this old facility, filled with the undead as you search for clues, solve puzzles, and fight to stay alive. You have a limited inventory, albeit a generous one, that you'll stuff with weapons, items like health packs, and clothes. Yeah, you get a lot of outfits, and that's where the dress-up comes from. So yeah, this aspect alone will either suck you in or push you away. But there's a lot more going on than just bunny ears and short skirts. It's an over-the-shoulder style third-person shooter, very reminiscent of the recent RE games. You've got a health bar and stamina to worry about. You'll explore the cluttered environment, climbing over and under debris, running from enemies, or laying waste to them, with a variety of melee or ranged weapons. Like your mom, you'll be looking to hop into random beds, which act as save points. You'll uncover clues and passcodes, or pick up key cards to open up lockers and unlock doors. Or hell, you can just blast the doors open or break the barriers with a hatchet. Hell yeah! You're armed to the teeth with all sorts of melee weapons like hatchets and knives that you can hack the enemies with. But you can also throw them and then pull them from the corpse, which is never not satisfying. You'll get tons of guns, mostly the usual like pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, and the like, as well as explosives like grenades you can use to clear the room. A weapon wheel lets you quickly select your killing implements of death, and occasionally you'll get a cinematic kill showing the detail of a brutal takedown, or a cinematic attack where enemies get the drop on you. This is definitely not what I was expecting. Low-budget indie games don't usually put these types of flourishes into their games, but I really appreciated the effort. There's a ton of enemies, but not a lot of variety just yet. Most are standard shambling zombies that mindlessly move towards you, thirsting for your face. Often they'll spring to life when you walk by or from around corners, but they're happy to break out of doors to get the drop on you, and hell, even drop from the ceiling. You can hear groans and screams off in the distance, which coupled with the solid lighting actually created a creepy atmosphere. Some of the enemies are these weird, textureless, animal-like creatures that jump out at you. And there are some who spit at you, hinting that the full game could have a decent variety when things get going. Blood and gore cover the fights, with visible impacts to the environment. Since you can never be sure enemies are actually dead, you'll want to give them the old Dead Space head stomp. Oh yeah! Now the sounds aren't nearly as satisfying as Dead Space, This is one of the aspects that could easily be polished before full release. The guns don't have much punch, and the gore isn't as juicy as I'd want. Speaking of juicy, Jodie was clearly given a lot of love, and definitely the standout visually. Still not looking AAA, but all the character designs are quite detailed with nice textures, though the animations are still pretty rough and a bit too floaty. The zombies are decently varied for how small the playtest is, and the environments, while cluttered, still show the lower budget. The cinematic kills and overall atmospheric lighting definitely punch above their weight, casting harsh lights on everything and making your eyes play tricks on you. It's hard to tell how good the voice acting is since I don't know Chinese, but it's interesting to hear this language, especially since my ears are more tuned to Japanese.
2033年4月8日夜里1点10分，这里是隶属于 X 基因科技的第7生化研究所。
The only other game that I've played in recent memory from a Chinese studio with Chinese voice acting is Sword and Fairy 6. See my review if you're curious. The development team is looking for playtesters and open to feedback, which I think is great. They have a note that says, "This game is developed by Johnny and Knox. We hope that this game will bring you an enjoyable gaming experience. Thank you for your interest and support." This game is still in development and is not yet complete, so please feel free to communicate with us and we'll work to make this game better. So, wrapping up, I think the Killing Antidote has a lot of promise. The elevator pitch alone is going to catch my attention, but in this playtest, I can see there's real ambition in the project. So I encourage anyone interested to give this game a go and give the devs your feedback to help make this game as good as it can be. I really hope Johnny and Knox get enough support for a full release. And I know if they do, maintaining the same priorities as the playtest, I'll play the hell out of it. Okay, there's my thoughts on the Killing Antidote playtest. Have you played it? And what's another game you want me to check out? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. If you liked the video, hit like and subscribe, and if you want my thoughts on another underrated game, check out my video right here. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
This is 什么东西？